Time now for Startup Central Masterclass and Startup Central Toolkit. We get you a serial entrepreneur, Kunal Shah, the founder of Cred. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him well. He, of course, had started Free Charge and then sold it to Snapdeal. The reason we're getting you Kunal Shah, who's joining us from an airport lounge, is because he obviously believes a promise is a promise, a commitment is a commitment. Kunal, congratulations. $120 million fundraise. Cred isn't even 1 year old at the moment. Thanks again for joining us from that airport lounge and being so patient. We really appreciate your commitment. Having said that, $120 million that you have raised from existing investors, what are you going to use it for? What's the future of Cred?
First of all, thank you for having me, and I'm sorry for stressing you out. I just want to make sure I make my connection. About the fundraise, at this point of time, the primary objective with the capital is to be able to grow the consumer base that we've started with. And we are doing two things. We are primarily looking at launching a bunch of products with banks, particularly if you can also do personal loans and other products powered by the banks on the platform. And also what we are doing is experimenting and exploring international markets if the product has some product market fit. So we'll do some experiments of that. But the primary objective is to grow and grow the revenue streams with the bank and explore international markets.
Kunal Shah, does it help that you have had success in the past with a free charge, for example, when you go back to your investors? Like I said, Cred is even 1 year old. You've gone in for this fundraise. Is half the battle won because you are Kunal Shah? You've had a successful product in the past. I'm, of course, asking this question on behalf of all the entrepreneurs and startups tuning in.
I think there is an advantage to being a second time or a third time founder to be able to raise capital. I don't think that solves the problem of building a formidable business. I don't think it actually removes the pressure. In fact, it puts more pressure. Capital is a great way to create runway for being able to take off, but taking off the plane is a different act than extending runways. So I believe that capital will give us the advantage to do all the right things that we want to do. But I think we still have a lot to do, a lot to prove before we start celebrating even one bit.
I love it, all the analogies you're drawing with runways and airports, because you're, of course, at an airport lounge having to make that connection. Let me know when you have to go. But Kunal, having said that, your entire model is also based on getting consumers to make credit card payments on time and rewarding them. This at a time when we are seeing some ugly fights. For example, I use Cred. I know you've got some fantastic restaurants, for example, that I can go to and avail discounts. AD Singh's Olive, for example. Whoever thought that AD Singh would be giving discounts, right? But he's doing it through Cred. How do you make sure that you're never going to be in a kind of pickle that Swiggy and Zomato are in today?
I think it's a great question. I believe for any business to be sustainable, it's important that you deliver high quality customers to your merchants, and you're ensuring that you're not getting them hooked on to deep discounting. The moment you go down that path, automatically you have the curse of creating adverse selection for your merchant partners. We have been extremely careful in ensuring that we deliver the highest quality customers and never create deep discounting behavior. In fact, the reason you see top restaurants on the platform is that we are able to drive 2 times the average ticket size that they currently have on the restaurant, which automatically makes them prefer what we do versus just trying to get the kind of customers which they will less likely desire to be associated with.
Okay, so and have you noticed that people are making credit card payments more on time if they're using Cred? Have you done any study like that? Where is Cred at now? How many members do you have?
I think it's too early to talk about numbers, but I can tell you what people are liking about Cred so far. I think anybody who has multiple credit cards realizes the pain of managing due dates, amount to be paid, tracking it, paying it on time, remembering the due date. All of these are complicated tasks in the busy lives that we live today. Cred makes that incredibly easy to do that. And the rewarding behavior is an interesting incentive to create good financial behavior. We believe that uh, 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 it's not a great idea to penalize people to learn good financial behavior. I think incentivizing good behavior is a great way to create a better understanding of money, a better understanding of finances. And lifestyle is something that will increase and improve automatically the moment you get better with money.
Okay, and when you're saying you want to go overseas, why now? Do you think you've reached that inflection point that it's time to go overseas? There's a time when digital India, for example, is being talked about. The penetration, for example, that we're seeing with digital money too. And where exactly do you want to go?
Considering the business model that we are focusing on is on a niche audience, it is essential for us to kind of go more horizontal into different countries versus trying to go vertical into one country. I think it's unfair to keep an expectation for one company to go deep into one country. I think what we see in global giants, their ability to go to other countries is where the wealth creation has happened. You see that already in many companies. Paytm has gone international. Ola has gone international. I'm sure many other companies. Urban Clap has gone international. I think it allows you to be able to go to countries which may be likely to have better unit economics, better customer profile sometimes, and the capability of building from India, making the product in India, and being able to create a global customer base is something that we've all desired. The only company I remember which did it first was Zomato. I think many companies are now entering global markets and trying to make a dent. And I think for us, it even makes more sense considering our customers are limited and we are more likely to see them growing by expanding horizontally across multiple countries versus trying to go deep into one country.
Okay, so which are these countries?
Point of time, we are at a very early stage of exploring. I think we're probably 6 to 8 months away from actually meaningfully launching anything. But at this point of time, we are exploring where does the product market fit make sense. I don't believe in failing fast. I believe in planning better. So we are just beginning to start our planning phase on this.
Kunal, before I let you go, for all the people who use Cred or are thinking of using Cred, when will they see more rewards? You've got, of course, some fantastic rewards that are taking place that you can renew on a monthly basis. So I'm asking this question on behalf of all your consumers.
I believe we've been very fortunate to get the kind of response that we got in 8 9 months. We have just started ramping up our teams to be able to get more rewards. Our goal is to get to 4 to 6 new rewards every day in probably 60 days from now. And I think that's when you will see a lot many options and interesting formats appearing, and lots of exciting formats will start appearing. Like one of the interesting format we are thinking about is, can there be something called as Cred Studio where you can watch a live show in the evening with your Cred coins? So lots of interesting formats coming up.
What do you mean a Cred Studio? Watch what live? Can you give some more details on that?
Well, imagine you can tune into a singer performing at their home unplugged at 7:30 p.m. live, and maybe hundreds of thousands of Cred members can watch it live on the platform without having to leave their home, watch a live performance which will never be played again.
Well, that sounds pretty cool when you bring it like that. So, is that the new form of rewards that we're likely to see as well? Is that how you see this evolving? Exclusivity, something that maybe American Express and the concierge service had done.
I think we misunderstand the points to only have one appeal, which is what credit cards have done so far. We are entering an age where people are looking for more and more exciting things to do. And technology allows you to enter into formats that otherwise in the past, banks or financial services could not enter into. When I talk about doing a live show for coins in the evening, uh, we are actually replicating an experience of a physical club, which can actually offer multiple things. Sometimes there is food, sometimes there are products, sometimes there is content, sometimes maybe there will be education. So the goal is that people have different needs, and trying to force the standardization on what is done before by the banks may not be the wisest thing for the new age format of rewards.
You know, you said you don't believe in failing fast. I don't know if Kunal Shah has ever failed, but having said that, for everybody who's watching you now, they do emulate you. They look at your success. Look what you did with Free Charge. Look what you're doing with Cred. But the fact is that, you know, when you're starting out, for a lot of people, failure is inevitable. What's your advice to them? And I know you sometimes like to give a lot of advice on Twitter, but I'm asking you on television.
All I would say is that don't believe in overnight success. This is probably my ninth startup. And a lot of time people just look at your last few success stories and start believing it that's a shortcut to getting there. I spoke to one founder who was extremely upset that he's not able to raise any money and I'm able to raise money so easily, and he wrote a negative post on social media criticizing Cred. And I said, why are you upset with us? What did we do wrong? Give me a feedback. And he told me, all the investors keep giving you money, they can't even understand what I'm doing. I mean, I'm even profitable. And I think a lot of times people don't understand that it's not that Kunal Shah just managed to do it. Kunal Shah has probably done this for 15 years before they even got any investor to fund any of his companies. And I think a lot of time we give up too early. All I would say is that don't look at these success stories to be this glorious things. I think a lot of that glory has come after putting probably tens of years of dark hard work behind it to get any learning, any understanding, or any competence to be able to get any money.
So are you also therefore saying that, you know, maybe from what you're saying, the corollary could be that people go in too early for funding, or maybe this particular gentleman or lady didn't know the art of making a good pitch, that nobody could understand what this startup is all about?
I believe raising money is a lot more like dating. You cannot blame the other person if they say no. You have to blame yourself for not being able to convincing enough for the opposite person to say yes. And I think absence of dating culture in this country is probably the reason we are not very good at raising money, because we've not been successful at pitching and converting people. All we have done is given exams and got a merit list. Life does not operate on giving exams and merit list. And I think that is the opportunity for a lot of people to learn that uh, why blame people uh, uh, who are able to do it successfully when all you have to do is learn from them instead of trying to get envious or feel hurt, because for every one success there'll be at least 1,000 failures. That's a given.
Kunal, I don't understand your analogy. You have to pitch to someone to date. So, you know, having said that, you know, that's, there has to be natural chemistry. So I would imagine that also has to exist between founder and investor.
No, let me explain. When you are proposing somebody to do something with you that is going to take any amount of effort, attention, life from them, you have to make it compelling enough to do that. If we don't empathize with them on what they like and what are they likely to give attention to, and I give the dating analogy because it's an important process through which you learn what are people likely to like and what properties you need to have in yourself or traits you need to have in yourself for people to appreciate that. And people will like your story, your narrative, your pitch, if you do the effort of understanding what they like. A lot of times, founders, I believe, do not take enough effort. And I've been on both the sides. I've also been an investor, I've been a founder. I've seen consistently when I was an investor that people fail to articulate and empathize what the investor is trying to say. And I think just blaming the investors for not understanding and funding a few people. A lot of people say, hey, they only fund IITians and other things. I'm a philosophy major. I'm the not even science graduate. So you have to understand that all it takes is ability to understand that what it takes and maybe learn from that. I think we could, as founders, take a lot of lessons from that and not be bitter about people who are able to raise money.
They do say the backroom benchers are always more successful, right? I like to believe that I was a backbencher. But Kunal Shah, my last question to you. You talk about empathy, you talk about compassion. It's your ninth startup that really flourished. So having said that, do you also invest in other startups? Do you act like an angel investor?
Oh, I have been probably investor of more than 50, 60 companies. I try to spend a lot of time with founders and give back a lot. I believe that I have been very, very fortunate in my journey. And the only thing I can give back is not just money, but I think my time is actually more valuable, which I try to spend a lot of time with and mentor a lot of founders. I fundamentally believe that I would be personally happy along with success of Cred if I can make probably 50, 100 founders successful by helping them. I think we'll create a big revolution in this country. I believe this country's progress is rooted in job seekers becoming job creators. If we do not make that happen, we are going to always keep blaming government. We'll keep blaming external factors, whereas we need to fix the country's need from becoming job seekers to job creators.
And on that very patriotic note and optimistic note, Kunal, I'm going to thank you for joining us here. That's indeed very good to know. And, they also say time is money. So you might be giving your time, but that's akin to also giving money. But thanks a lot, Kunal, for joining us on that airport lounge. Here he is, a second-time founder with Cred, successful founder. Of course, he said he had, a string of failures before that. Promise is a promise. He was scared of missing his connection, but he took the time out and he joined us from that airport lounge as the future of Cred, ladies and gentlemen. Only on Startup Central, a rare TV interview with Kunal Shah after raising another $120 million from existing investors for Cred.